Hello, I'm AbyaX Toycat, and you have forgotten about some of Minecraft's features. I know this because we've all been there. A brand new update comes out and it's filled with new, shiny, exciting features that you immediately go to play around with. However, some of the features in the update are a lot less shiny, and so you don't use them for a little bit, and then after a while, they escape your memory altogether. And so rather than waiting for a new update to come out and play around with its new shiny features, why don't you explore some of these old features which probably you forgot about? In fact, I guarantee if you stick to the end of this video, you'll find at least a few features that you have forgotten about, but I guarantee it's probably going to be a lot more. But with that said, let's start with the first one because it's one of the most fun, and it is to do with renaming items. Did you know you can rename a lot of different items? For example, if you rename your furnace to clarify that it's your, your general use furnace, then that will actually stick in the item name itself. So this isn't just for when you place it down and have it in your inventory, it's for when you literally have it as a block. It will say general furnace at the top, which is obviously what happens when you promote your furnace from Admiral. But anyway, as well as having the ability to promote furnaces and give them fun names, you could also have an ender chest that's like a regular chest, but cool. You could have an enchantment table that lets you do all sorts of forkery. You could have a drug making stand. You could have a backpack, obviously. And one of my favorite ones from Adorable Ho is this, Bernie Sanders. I mean, if you've got a sand furnace, this is the only correct thing to call it, right? Renaming items is a really great way to add a tiny bit of customization, and if nothing else, it's a lot of fun. Speaking of a lot of fun, this is a creative mode item that you probably do know about, the spawn egg, but you might not know you can rename those as well, and if you rename a spawn egg, when a mob spawns, it will say the very same thing on the spawn egg. This is pretty fun by itself, but you might also not know that because Minecraft recently added every single spawn egg mob to the game, that you actually can spawn in every mob with these, except for one, which they for some reason did not, the brown mushroom. The brown mushroom can only be spawned in with one particular command, which is you have to type this, type equals brown, and then you'll get, oh, I mean, apparently not. But also what you can do is you can take one of these red mushrooms and then you can use summon lightning, and that is the only other way. Or you could also, obviously in survival, you can use a trident, just like it sounds like we did. But as you can see, this is the only way to get this mob. There is no brown mushroom spawn egg in the entire creative inventory. Very strange stuff. If you're a creative player, maybe you didn't know that. There's a lot of things only found in commands for creative players, and that is one such example. And the same thing for survival, I would say, would have to be the fire charge. The fire charge is really good because you can use it to craft all sorts of firework things, which is kind of fun in my opinion. So we take some paper, we take some gunpowder, we take our fire charges, and we can, well, I guess we're going to have to manually do this, and we can make a more interesting version of the firework, but also the fire charge can just be used to light stuff on fire. But the thing is, most people would never do this because realistically, it's a bad flint and steel. It's a flint and steel, but you waste a whole item every single time. However, it is really useful for two situations. One is if you are really, really desperate. So if you're in the nether, you can find gunpowder from gas, blaze powder from blazes, and coal from wither skeletons. Combine these three things together and you've got an emergency source of light fire charges that you can use to relight your portal. So, this is my portal for now, these fun signs. Wow, look at that, I'm saving myself. But also, you can use them in a dispenser, which is a really fun gimmick. Honestly, for survival players, it's not a very good use of your time and resources, but just be able to do this once or twice, so fun. Look at that, it goes all the way to the sky. This was what fireworks looked like before fireworks. Totally a big fan of it. Also, I think I might be starting a bit of a fire. Wow, greater than 99% of those happen to people who don't subscribe to the channel. That's really odd statistics, huh? I guess that tree didn't subscribe. I guess also of the bell. Look at that, fun little icon up there. I love looking around this stuff because I'll realize some stuff as I walk past it, like, oh yeah, the respawn anchor. That's so useful for never only runs, but honestly, you don't really use it much otherwise. Also, it says right click at your own risk. What could happen if... Oopsie. Anyway, this is how you set your spawn in the overworld. Oh, that is for the nether. Makes a lot of sense, huh? And wow, I can go to sleep. And I'll wake up in the morning and it'll be a different time of... That's shocking stuff. Anyway, yeah, go to the nether, use respawn anchors, you'll have a lot of fun with them, and honestly, if you are going to have a nether forward base, it's something worth thinking about, right? I don't know if there's anything in this nether, I guess I'm gonna find out right now. Oh look, there's this bed. I just remembered, this is how you set your spawn... Oh, I don't know what I did. I broke something. Oopsie. and we're better. Anyway, with that said, let's move on to the fifth thing you probably forgot about, because honestly, this is one I forget all the time. Frostwalker boots. Frostwalker is such a cool thing the first time you find it, because look, you can walk on water by turning it into ice, but most people get annoyed by it at some point and then never come back. However, Frostwalker is really useful, not for oceans like you might imagine, but actually for the Nether, especially after they updated it to have a lot more magma. If you want to walk around and be safe from magma, put on your Frostwalker. Take off your Frostwalker and ow, 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 put it right back on, you're fine. You can even stand on campfires. I think this is a little bit of a stretch, thematically speaking, but you can step on basically anything made of fire that isn't fire. Wait, actually, what sense does that make? Why can I stand on a campfire and I'm fine, but I stand in a real fire and the game's like, oh yeah, this hurts your stomach? That makes no sense to me. You know what else makes no sense to me? The fact that Frostwalker is so underappreciated, because yeah, being able to turn water into ice means you effectively can be your own little, boat across the oceans. You never have to switch out from one to the other. If they just made a slightly faster way to utilize these, or you could put it in a boat and use it there too, it would be even better. Speaking of even better, one of the ingredients you're probably not using is our sixth forgotten item, which is the mushroom blocks. Every time I remember these exist, I find them to be absolutely delightful, because there's 3 of these for survival players and 1 of these for creative, and it's so easy to get your hands on. Just take an axe with silk touch, use some bone meal on some, why do I have this paper on me? I'm probably not going to need that. But yeah, use the bone meal on a mushroom, and then you can instant mine this basically. There we go. Look how fast this is. It's amazing, and you get your hands on such colorful blocks. If you want red blocks, this is the way to do it. Look at that. We can make ourselves anything we like. You can make reverse mushrooms. You can make fun mushrooms. You can do anything you like so quickly, and all you need is 1 enchantment on 1 axe, and then a few mushrooms and a bit of bone meal, and you get one of the most delightfully, I think it's delightful, looking blocks in the game, except actually you get 3 of the most delightful looking blocks in the game. What more could you ask for? Literally nothing. You would be very picky if you tried to do so, and so I don't recommend doing it. Look at this. I made this from scratch right now. Isn't it beautiful? Wait, I can do better. We can, if we put one of these there and one of these there, and then we put like that there and there. Oh, look at this. I made a frowning face. Wait for it. We're gonna get it. And then 1 here, and then 1 here, and then it blocks that. Look, I made a sad face if you really squint. It looks more like modern art, honestly. But you know what's not modern art? The 7th feature that you probably forgot about, honestly. The snow golem as a whole, I mean, he's really underappreciated. Like, being able to farm him for snow is useful until we have so many snow biomes that why would you? However, here's something fun you might not have known you could do. You can shear his face off. Wait, I think I made his face by... Okay, no, I'm not quite there. I almost made his face. In fact, I'm gonna make his face right now. All you need is like to... Yeah, this is so easy. Let's do it. Do you think I did a good job? You know, I don't need you to answer that question. I know I did a good job. But you know what else is definitely a good job? The fact that the 8th feature you've forgotten about is something you're going to remember right now, because here is the tripwire hook. Honestly, yeah, this used to be the bomb for making traps. You'd be like, haha, I tricked you into making light sources happen, or let's be honest, much worse. And all you need to do to make the tripwire hook is just... I don't know, wait, example of a, oh, there we go. All you need to do to make the tripwire hook is use some planks, a stick, and an iron ingot, ingredients you probably already have. And then these tripwire hooks can be used to make a crossbow. Wow, isn't that amazing? 2 tripwire hooks will make you, or what, 2 sets of iron will make you a crossbow, and a tripwire hook can make you not only this wonderful item, which we're all going for all the time, but also you can make fun little trickeries on your friend. The tripwire hook is really, for me, a junk item. You get it when you're fishing and you go, okay, and then you throw it back in the sea, but you shouldn't always do that, just like how the 9th one isn't for me, but it might be for you. XP bottles are, the Bottolo Enchanting, as they're correctly known, is a really silly little item, right? I mean, look how little XP we get for this. It's enough to get us from 16 to 17, but it's such a rare item, why would you ever do that? Except here's the fun idea. If you can get a cleric to max trades in Minecraft, like you should do, then you can trade for a silly number of these at a time, and you can actually farm experience, because you get XP not just for trading. You saw how much my XP bar's gone up. In fact, it's still going up. But then also, you can throw these on the ground and get even more of it. The Cleric allows the XP bottle to be a genuinely valid way to store experience, which I think is fun by itself. But also on top of that, you can, if you just go to a bunch of pillager outposts, you'll eventually get a few of these, and you can store them somewhere as a gift to a friend, or you can just throw them at things, or yeah, look at this. You ever wanna hit a villager, but you know that they're not gonna like you for that? Hit them with experience and see how they feel about that. Just like how I'm gonna hit you with the experience of the 10th number on this list. I mean, it's the 10th number, but it's also the 10th thing that number represents, you know? And the 10th thing that numbers represent is dried kelp. Dried kelp is found all over the ocean, and it's not just useful to eat by itself, but also if you take 9 of it together, you can make a dried kelp block. Why would you ever do this? Wow, I'm glad you asked. It's a great furnace fuel. You can smelt 20 kelp down into dried kelp using a smelted kelp block. That means you only need 9 of those to get more dried kelp blocks, and the rest is free smelting. This is an infinite dried kelp machine, and all you need is access to the ocean. Honestly, the dried kelp block is not only a great gimmick because it works that way, also it's technically a food. I say technically, it really is very technically. Look at this. It's very fast to eat. So honestly, the big gimmick for it, in my opinion, the fun part about it, is if you need to eat quickly while you're on the run, just like a quick bite at a time while you look behind you because someone's attacking you, dried kelp is great for that. Also, the dried kelp block is just so underappreciated. I mean, actually, it's probably just the right amount of appreciated, which is to say exactly 0. But I mean, it looks like a present if you're not playing Java and you don't have that Christmas present on Christmas Day. This is a great alternative. Speaking of great alternatives, 11 is an alternative to 2 1s. You know, do you add the numbers together, or is that base 10 and then that represents the 10s and the 1s? Who knows for sure? All I know is that what you're gonna find is rabbit stew. This was such a cool thing to me when it came out. Like, all you need is a bowl and a potato and a carrot and a cooked rabbit and a brown mushroom, and you can get rabbit stew, which is, if you don't know, the best food in the game as measured by hunger healed. It's a little bit debatable as to whether suspicious stew counts, because that can heal you from nothing, but the best food that heals you directly, or gives you hunger directly, is the rabbit stew, and the trade-off is that it's unstackable. And this should make it pretty useful for some situations, but in reality, people would rather just eat a higher saturation food that makes you not hungry for longer than they would eat a rabbit stew, which is a shame, because let me show you the value of this high hunger healing food by eating it with half a hunger. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's so good, isn't it? You could totally tell how great that was. Honestly, it is a good food source if you're a crazy person. That's something I'll agree with. And honestly, I'd say pumpkin pies are another great example. There are so many foods in Minecraft which are just borderline useless. They take so much effort and they're not really worthwhile like pumpkin pies for cooked meat or pumpkin pies for bread. Why would you use them? They're outclassed in every way. The only thing I can think of is you trade for them, or you really like pumpkin pies and you do it for thematics. However, speaking of thematics, something you're gonna love is this. I love the Strider. You don't forget these guys running around the Nether, but you might forget you can use them for a path in the overworld. I think most people go for the achievement for it, by the way. I'm gonna need this because the pathway sucks. I tried doing this without, using the fire resistance, and let's just say I learned my lesson. You know, let's just say that. And so let's try this time. We'll get ourselves a warp fungus rod. This is one of those, not a pumpkin pie. And then we're gonna get on the Strider. Look at this, by the way. He loves these so much. Look at the way he walks. It's so cute. Okay, I'm gonna stay on track. This is a Minecraft video. So I'm gonna drink my fire resistance potion, and I'm gonna show you the magic of the Strider, because he can just about walk on the ground in the overworld. But if you make a lava pathway and you feed him and go up it, although he takes a while to go upstairs like this, don't jump, by the way, you'll regret it. But although it does take a while to go up the lava falls, you can actually have a lava fall where, okay, look at this. Oh yeah. You can lead him up stuff, and you can make a Strider pathway in your overworld. Just like how you could use soul sand. I mean, whether you'd want to or not is a very different question. You could use soul sand in your overworld. You can use and then put soul speed on. You can put the Strider in your world, and as long as you bring him the right food, as long as you make him a path out of lava, which is pretty needy, let's be fair, then you can take him around. Speaking of taking people places, actually, do you want to come with me, Strider? I think he does. Let's bring him with me to the 13th one. You know, I love Striders so much. If you look at the way they walk, I don't know how you can't. They're such a ridiculous mob. It is definitely, it's the one mob that I don't think should have meat attached. Like, rabbit meat makes sense. Why don't we have guardian meat? Why don't we have all the types of meat, I ask you? Strider meat, I think we could do fine without. So, the 13th best 13th best feature you forgot, because this is a descending list. It just gets worse from here, is the clock. The clock is honestly... Sorry, wait, the sign is... sorry, there was a bit of a mistake in the map right there. This is the clock. Obviously, it's really good for telling you the time of day, and most people say, but I can look at the moon. It's getting quite late as we record this, by the way. I can just look at the moon. Wow, very easy. But in reality, the clock will allow you to tell the time when you're underground. The clock will allow you to... Okay, I've gone through the full list of uses for it. The 14th feature you've probably forgotten about is calcite. Calcite is such a cool one too, because if you're a builder, it looks great in your palettes, but most people forgot about this because it spawns in mountains and it spawns in amethyst geodes, but how often are you discovering those things in the later game of Minecraft? Probably not often enough to really value your calcite. Calcite is a very pretty block. Every time I see it, I'm like, I want to go mine that, and then I forget about it till the next time I hear about it. I do think it's a shame there are no slab or stair variants. I think it's the weirdest block to not have those in my opinion. For real, just to show you this because it seems ridiculous. Here are my calcite blocks. Here is a crafting table. No, there isn't. This is the 15th feature, by the way. The daylight detector. Just you take my word for it. You can't do it, and it's a shame. So the daylight detector is really useful because you can detect daylight. You can use a redstone. Oh wait, we can set the time, and ooh, look at that. So if you have it set to daylight, it will put a redstone signal out when it's the day. If you set it to nighttime, it will set a redstone signal out when it's night. And apparently you can do exactly perfectly in between if you really want to, which is kind of fun. But yeah, having a daylight detector to tell you, I think this is fun a lot. Having a sensor which can, do stuff like this, very wonderful. But even, and I feel like most people don't take advantage of daytime only redstone or nighttime only redstone. But the other fun thing is you can throw them in a furnace. You're cooking up some stone, just cook your daylight detectors. Actually, I think I need a few more of these. So let's just break our redstone real quick and let's cook up some daylight detectors. I honestly think the reason they're underused is because they're such a tricky recipe. Mojang should consider simplifying it maybe, or making it less never quartzy. But speaking of making things less never quartzy, this is redstone, and although there's no quartz used here, it is gold and iron based. A lot of people forget there are 4 pressure plates because honestly, it's not that useful to use, but here is a brief rundown to hopefully inspire you to want to do it, because personally, everyone knows the wooden pressure plate. You can put an item on there, that can be an arrow, that can be anything, and it will fully power every time. Here is the stone pressure plate. It won't power from items, it will only power from players. Then we've got the iron, which is 1 signal strength no matter the amount of enemies, so it's a signal strength of 1. It goes precisely 1 block and then it's over. And then there's the gold, which is 1 signal strength per entity. So we put 1 on there, we put 2 on. Wait, did we miss on that? I think we did. We put 2 on. Okay, we're gonna throw these better. We put 2 on there. We'll throw our spawn egg on there. We'll throw our dirt on there for 3, and then we'll throw a golden carrot on there for 4. Every item you put on a golden pressure plate gives it a different redstone signal, which if you're using, say, redstone lamps, is pretty cool. If you're using, say, pistons to determine something, you can have entirely different redstone systems activate based on the gold pressure plate. I think it's a lot of fun personally, but not as fun as the 17th thing. What is the last feature you probably forgot about? Also, leave a comment just after this, letting me know how many of the features that you have forgotten about, and you were like, wow, I actually am going to use that today, because I love when I inspire people to do new things. That's kind of a big point of this channel, and yeah, if you want to reward me, I like comments. But what I also like is this, the honey bottle. Honey bottles are so cool. They stack up to 16, so I mean, rabbit stew, has nothing on these, but the thing about honey bottles is it not only is drinkable while you're at full health. By the way, if I wanted to get rid of my fire resistance I've got on, I can... Oh, it works like milk, but not for positive effects, apparently. That's useful to know, unless my fire resistance is infinite. No, it's not. Honey bottles are really useful because they can cure poison. Just like in the real world, if you find yourself ingesting something that might kill you, just drink some honey and you'll be cured. And in Minecraft, that realism is perfectly carried over. Wow, it's gotten rid of. And in fact, it's better than milk in that way because it only removes negative effects. You could argue fire resistance is a negative effect if you just want to end it all, like, you know what, life without my Strider is worthless, I just want to jump in here and have it not exist anymore. But, for most people, fire resistance resistance is positive, and having lava is negative. So getting rid of one of those things is great. Also, it stacks up to 16. That's really nice, right? And on top of all of that, it actually heals hunger at a pretty decent rate too. And obviously, the downside is you get these glass bottles when you're done, but being able to stack to 16 and save you from withering, as an example, is a really great thing. So if Toycat had the time set today, Willem is scrubbing the comments. You know, this is a funny thing. I usually try to record my videos in the day because you get more light, it's easier to see. But I like these big glowing signs, and that's why I didn't. And if you did like these big glowing signs too, make sure to thank Adorable Ho, who put this video together. Oh, the video well together. Obviously, the video is put together by myself and Harrison, but make sure to thank him, and then also make sure to subscribe because he will threaten to burn your house down. I've never said that's what will happen. I'm just saying most house fires happen to people who don't subscribe, but just a warning, Adorable Ho knows where you live, and he might burn down your house. So, you know, take that threat with as many grains of salt as you like, but also hit the bell, because there's a green icon telling you to do so, and you'll see more videos that way. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy looking at my face, because I'll see you all in the next one. Unless I don't. Goodbye. Also, hi, Adorable Ho.